Welcome to the Super Memory for Schools program. Hello everyone, my name is Lê Đan Hoang. I'm a teacher at Nguyễn Xuân Primary School, Gò Vấp District. Let's learn today's history lesson together at the end of the 4th grade history program. As you know, in 1802, Nguyễn An overthrew Thái Sung Dynasty and established the Nguyễn Dynasty. On September 1st, 1858, the French colonists invaded our country and gradually turned our country into their colony. Meanwhile, the Nguyễn court gradually surrendered and became a henchman for the French colonialists. However, people in our country resisted fiercely. And the most noticeable event was a resistance movement against the French colonialists under the command of Trương Định. Let's learn about the movement through the history lesson, Bình Tây Great Marshal Trương Định. Our lesson has the following sections. First, the country's situation after the French colonialists began the invasion. Second, Trương Định and the people resolutely struggled against the invaders. Third, the gratitude and pride of the people. Now, let's start with each section together. Section 1. The country's situation after the French colonialists began the invasion. At dawn on September 1st, 1858, the French colonialists officially opened fire on Da Nang, starting the invasion of our country. But the French colonialists faced fierce resistance from our army and people. Therefore, the plan of the French colonialists to fight and win quickly was considered a failure. A year later, the French colonists shifted and attacked Gia Định. At that time, the people of Nam Kỳ stood up to revolt everywhere. Some typical revolts of the people of Nam Kỳ are Nguyễn Hữu Huân, Võ Yu Yung, Nguyễn Trung Do to revolt, and the largest resistance is the movement under the command of Trương Định. We've learned Section 1, the country's situation after the French colonialists began the invasion. Now we move on to Section 2, to find out how Trương Định and the people fight against the invaders. In 1862, at the peak of our resistance movement, the French colonialists faced many difficulties and embarrassments. The Nguyễn court, with the thought of seeking peace, hurriedly signed a treaty, which included the provision to cede 3 provinces in the southeastern, Gia Định, Định Thuận, and Biên Hòa, to the French colonialists. Let's see the location of the 3 provinces in the southeastern on the map. The Nguyễn court used all measures to quell the people's uprising. The Nguyễn court issued an order to force Trương Định to disband the insurgent army and take the position of military leader in An Giang, one of the 3 provinces in the southwestern, Vĩnh Long, An Giang, and Hà Tĩnh. Before the court signed a treaty and ordered the disbanding of forces, Trương Định was in 2 minds. He was a Mandarin and must obey the king's orders. If he did not obey the king's orders, he would be charged with treason. According to feudal law, treason was considered the most serious crime. At that time, the people were still wholeheartedly determined to stand up to the resistance, and Trương Định was conferred as the Bình Tây Great Marshal. Trương Định was appreciated by the hearts of insurgents and people, so Trương Định decided to oppose the king's orders and fight against the invaders with the people. Let's summarize the main contents that we have learned. In 1862, the Nguyễn court signed a treaty giving the 3 southeastern provinces to the French. The Nguyễn court ordered Trương Định to dismiss the resistance forces. However, Trương Định resolutely remained with the people to fight the invaders. And this is the image when Trương Định was conferred as the Bình Tây Great Marshal. So what is Bình Tây Great Marshal? He was the person with the highest rank to command the insurgent against the French. We have just learned about how Trương Định and the people fight against the invaders. Now we move on to Section 3, that is, the gratitude and pride of people of our country. Through the knowledge we've learned, we can see that Trương Định is one of the typical examples in the movement against the French colonists. In addition, Trương Định is a brave and patriotic person. He is ready to sacrifice himself for the country. Nowadays, people have built temples and recorded the great merits of national hero Trương Định. Through today's lesson, I hope that you will be more and more proud of our nation and our country, and try to practice and study hard to be worthy of the sacrifices of our forefathers. Hopefully my instruction, along with this sketch note, will help you study fast and remember for a long time. Goodbye, and see you in the next lesson of the Super Memory for Schools program.